Welcome back to Recharge. I am Dr. Gene Shirakabrad, and today we are going to talk about the difference, or if there's a difference, between core and abdominal training. One of the challenges when discussing working abdominals or incorporating a term like core is that it means different things to different people. Now, there is no such thing as a core muscle. It's not on the body. Core is a system. It's an integration of different muscles and different movements working together. Abdominals, on the other hand, those are actual muscles in the body, and they have multiple layers and they have different functions. So the abdominals that most people think about are the abdominals in the front, called the rectus abdominis. In a societal aspect, that's what we want to see. It's a sign of fitness, and it means different things to different people. It has a very emotional connection. From a functional aspect, though, it's not that sexy. It really is not that sexy. It's a very thin, small muscle, and it's really designed to keep your organs inside your body, which is not very sexy. But we have other abdominals, and we have other layers as well. On the sides, we have obliques, and then deeper down, we have an abdominal layer called the transversus abdominis, which has a lot of functional implications that we utilize. But it's also a very reflexive muscle, so you really don't think about using it. It's just there, and it's working when you don't even think about it. So when integrating core, one of the challenges is that people have used that term, that concept, in a lot of different ways, and it means different things. There's no real standardization. So saying core to somebody is usually interchanged often with abdominals. But for us, especially from a functional daily use standpoint, or if you're an athlete or doing sports, core integrates in a 3D dimensional aspect, meaning that it's the front, the sides, the back, and largely breathing. Incorporating breath work into core training means that you have to be cognizant of what your breathing is doing, because that means the diaphragm, which is a muscle, has to be integrated as well. So it's this three-dimensional aspect. It's more of a system than a single muscle. So what we want to show you today in this video is, yes, you could do abdominal training and develop those muscles, which is understandable. If you're working a certain muscle group for a certain purpose, absolutely work those abdominals. But there's a lot of ways to go about it, and you can work core training while incorporating abdominal training. The point here is, though, is if you're training core, you need to ask yourself, what does that mean, and how can I be purposeful with it? If you're thinking core, but you're only working abdominals, then there's potential to miss out on other aspects beside just these muscles, because muscles work best, or muscles are trained best, when you understand what their purpose is, what their action is, and you train that action through various means. So what we're going to show you next is ways to incorporate more dynamic element, some co-contraction, meaning involving multiple muscles at the same time and multiple contractions at the same time, as well as ways to challenge different muscle groups in different angles to truly integrate more of a core concept while still using your abdominals as part of it. Let's get into it.
All right, let's go through a few exercises and movements. The first one you see Megan demonstrating here is you take a band, wrap it around you, extend your arms, and push forward. Make sure you're pushing the band away from you, and then you're doing a sit-up. As you're pushing up, as you're pushing into the band, make sure you're breathing out. Breathe out as you go up to incorporate that diaphragm. Next one, just flip it around. The band still stays behind your back, and you are pushing the ground away from you. So you're going to feel that band in your upper back area. Make sure the tension stays there as you push up. You're also going to breathe out a little bit. Push up into the band, creating that tension. You want to feel it all the way from your hands up into the band. Next one, this is going to be a little complicated to set up, but not too bad. You wrap the band around you from behind. One arm tucks it into you. The other arm pushes away. Now, depending on your skill level, capacity level, you can have your legs up off the ground or on the ground to make sure you're still focusing. But the big thing here is you're going to do rotation, and you're rotating into the band as you're punching away. We're going to show you a different angle here so you could see from different viewpoints. Arm pushes straight ahead. You're continually creating tension here by pushing into that band and tucking in with the other one. So there's always resistance, and you're working that rotational oblique movement pattern, and you're going to really feel it on the sides. Next one here, you're in a plank position, except now your band is attached to a stationary object and you're pulling down away from you. You see a different angle here. You're pulling down away from the stationary object. Next, we're creating, this is a very challenging one. So you're in a side plank position and you're creating rotation away from that stationary object. So not only are you stabilizing, but you're also rotating. So this takes a lot of shoulder stability, strength, but also great breath work and abdominal capacity. So make sure you're working that one, knowing that it takes a lot of work. This one, you need some kind of slider or towel, just something that can move around. So you're in a plank position, you're stabilized mostly through your hips here, aside from the hands and feet, but the hips is what's kind of creating the supports system for you. So focus on your hips, being consistently in the same position. And then you're moving some object around on the ground. So we use sliders here, but you can really use anything that can move around, and you want to maintain that consistency. All right, almost there, a few more to go, a couple more to go. This one is a co-contraction sit-up. So Megan has one hand behind her head. She's pushing her other arm into the elbow of the hand that's back. So she's constantly pushing into the elbow. You do not let that tension off. So again, you're breathing as you're sitting up, but you're consistently and constantly pushing your hand into your elbow. You'd switch arms, obviously, but you get to look at Megan's face and see how she felt. Finally, this last one is challenging, not because it necessarily feels harder than the other ones that you've seen already, but by having this band attached to a stationary object and then something in the middle, we're using a change plate here, and then you're moving in and out. That change plate creates what's called perturbations, or constant variable inputs through the band that your arms have to stabilize. So this creates this reflexive way for your body to continually adapt to the movement. Then we're adding marching here, again, more variability, more challenge as you are continually creating stability. So before we were bringing the arms in and out, now Megan is marching and creating little oscillations to keep that change plate or wherever else you put on it moving. This is just a great way to integrate your abdominals, but also really the rest of your body while having your abdominals and your core constantly respond. So hope you really like this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at RechargeXFit. Follow along on Instagram and Facebook at RechargeXFit.